Welcome to Life Planning 101, brought to you by Kennedy Financial Services of Eastland. Tune in every Monday morning at 8:30 on KATX and KWBY, and again on Saturday morning at 9 on KATX and KWBY as Angela Robinson joins Terry Slavens to share important financial information to help you live life on purpose. Insurance, investments, estate and tax planning, and much more. All covered now on Life Planning 101.
And welcome in to Life Planning 101 right here on KTX KWBY. Terry Slavin is with you and joined by Angela Kennedy Robinson. Happy New Year, Angela.
Happy New Year.
2008.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about it.
You'll have a birthday this year. You'll be another year older.
I will, and it's also a big anniversary year for me with school, so I don't want to think about that. But let's talk about something positive. It's the new year, right?
Right.
And, you know, it's funny. So our entire office this first week of January is cleaning out the garage, so to speak. We're cleaning up messes, and I know that's a weird time to do it because you think, well, I want to do it the next week. Well, end of the year for us is crazy. So we dedicate that first week, clean up all the messes we can so we can park the new car in the garage, right? Anything that new comes in, let's clean it up. And that's kind of what I thought, that's what we need to talk about on the show, because so many people, I think, try to take on more for a New Year's resolution, right? We always say, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this. And the truth is there just isn't enough time in the day to do everything. Right. And we're being ridiculous with our goals. And I think that happens way too much. Goals. Right. This is why my husband always says, when I go to the gym in January, I prefer just to either show up at 5 o'clock in the morning or not go at all, because everybody and their dog who thinks they might want to work out is going to be there in January. It gets a little bit better by the end of January, a lot better by February, and by March it's back to normal. Right? So, and I say that, laugh about it, but it's really not funny because we set these large ambitions for ourselves and then we don't follow through. Right? And that's kind of sad in reality. So, I thought, okay, what can we do to help everyone clean out their garage so that they can make enough time in the day? And I know my dad came in a couple weeks ago and talked about business coaching. And this is a lot to do with business coaching, but it can also be applied, and I am applying it on a personal level. Sure. And I think, it's all important for us. In fact, I heard this one time by a billionaire. He said, it's all personal. Doesn't matter if it's business or if it's your life. It's all personal. And that's the truth of it. And so, the question becomes, if you're going to add something to your list this year, how do you get something off of your list? What can you delegate off of your list, right? Because you can't necessarily get rid of things. Maybe you can, but for most of us, the answer is no, right? So it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, or you don't do. We all have the same problem called time. And there's things that obviously you can't delegate: your faith, right? Your family, your health. But there is a lot that you should delegate. And I truly believe that's why people fail with their health goals, is because they get back in the run-of-mill things and just feel like they don't have any time in their day. And it's not a priority. But in reality, and I believe this, and I focus on health because I do know that in January, that is a big focus for people. And you don't realize the value till it's gone. You do not realize the value till it's gone. I always say, I know I haven't lived your life. We haven't lived your life at Kennedy Financial, but we have, through the lives of our clients and families that we work with. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just fall apart in a moment. And, you've got to work on your health, and you have to make that a priority. Well, how can you do that if your plate's so full?
And that's one of the things that's easy
to let go,
to shove back to the back of the pack.
It is, when in reality it should be right behind faith and family, right? So
nobody wants to go to the doctor.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to the doctor. So it's been more than 15 years ago, and I can tell my dad's story a little bit too. Why I talk about this. He started attending Strategic Coach, and actually I say 15 years ago. My gosh, it was in the 90s. It's got to be longer than that. And I remember the change. I remember him working 90 hours a week and never seeing my father. And then I remember Dad's home all the time. Where the heck is he home all the time? And he was more relaxed and he wasn't as stressed. And my gosh, things were better. And my gosh, we weren't having a conversation about the fact that we're going to have to eat oatmeal this week because we can't afford to get eggs. I mean, where these things were happening, I was like, what? How is this possible? How is this happening, right? And he started going to, there was two things. He also went to an Emmaus in the same year. So I have to give credit to Emmaus. But the second thing he did was he went to something called Strategic Coach. And he did that for 15 years. And Strategic Coach by Dan Sullivan. And by the way, if you are a Twitter person, follow Dan Sullivan on there. I'm telling you, it is great. It is wonderful. They'll be one of the best things that you ever do is follow him on Twitter. Because every day he gives you little tidbits that just are positive, right? But it was not only the best decision I think he could have made for himself, but it was the best decision that he could have made for the Kennedy Financial Services that was then and is today. It is amazing. And one of the key ideologies that Strategic Coach uses is something that's called unique ability. And when we have people come in that are our first-time applicants and we're talking to them about Kennedy Financial Services, we have to kind of explain that we're a very, very different company. We don't have management. We don't have this. You have 8 million bosses. This is how this works. But I want you to liken a unique ability to like a Fred Flintstone bus, okay? And you think about Fred Flintstone, the cartoon. How did they move the cars? Their feet.
Their feet.
Right?
Yeah.
Their feet. Okay. So
very quickly.
Very quickly. That's right. So I want you to think about different people that you know in your life. Who would you put at the front of the car? If you're all on a bus together, who would you put at the front? Would you want the people that are quick and nimble at the front, or would you want the slow ones at the front? Who would you want at the back? Would you want the weak ones or the strong ones? Right? How would that bus need to happen? What seats need to be happening? And does everybody need to have their feet headed in the same direction as well? Or can someone be turned around backwards, right? So we call it the feet in the right direction and in the right place. And that's what unique ability is all about. So when we come back, we're actually going to visualize this concept for you because this is the key. This is the secret into helping you have more time for 2018, and you don't want to miss it right here on Life Planning 101.
It all continues right after the break. Stay tuned. Segment 2 of Life Planning 101 right here on KTX KWBY. Angela?
So what can you delegate in the new year? And it all goes back to the ideology we talked about right before the break of the unique ability. And, I want to help you grasp that concept. We talked about the Flintstone bus, right? But I want you to visualize, and I am going to take this back to company or business for a minute because it'll help you understand it a little better. Visualize your current business that you're in or the company that you work for or someone that you worked for previously if you're retired, okay? And I want you to imagine that everybody walked in the door in the morning excited about what they do and passionate and knew that they were going to do 100%, and that was the job that they were made to do. How would that company be ran?
Wonderfully,
right?
I wish I could find that situation.
On all cylinders. That's
yes.
right. Okay, so that's the concept of building what we call a unique ability team. That's what we strive for with our company, right? But what's wrong with having the household be like that? So this is kind of a funny story, but there's a tool that you can go out there and find done by Kathy Kolbe, Kolbe. We actually use this on all of our hirees when we hire them and look at what their skills are. And this tests your cognitive part of your brain. So it's the part that you can't change no matter what. It's just the way God built you to be. And so I took mine and my husband took his. And then we had this little lady that talks to us about our team. And she's coming in and does this once a year. And we had a new lady come in and she says, and who is this and this? And why do they have the same last name? And are they brother and sister? And they said, no, they're married. And she said, ooh, that's a ball of fire. So it's good to know what this stuff is for your home life. And where it does work is that Brett and I know we run on all cylinders, thousands of ideas a day, 999 are awful ideas. So there might be one that comes out in the clear. But I am really good at research and fact finding. He hates it. He is really good at fixing things and putting things back together. And I'm the type of person, and this literally happened. He was gone for 3 weeks out of town, and I lived without any kind of TV or anything whatsoever because it broke. I just deal with it. I just don't want to deal with it. So this is how we complement each other.
Right.
So we go on a vacation. Guess who does all this legwork? Okay. I get it all set up, right? Because he doesn't, that's not his thing. He gets frustrated about it and he'll walk around and be mumbling all day, right? And the same thing when something breaks in the house. It's not going to be me fixing it. So, it works to know this stuff. So I want you to brainstorm kind of on what your unique ability is. And I want you to also know that people that learn to work in their unique ability are in the top 1% of productivity. So the question becomes, do you want to be in the top 1% of productivity, retired, working, wherever, your home life, whatever? You can do that. So get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil if you've got one. If not, remember to come back to the show. Obviously, we're on KATXradio.com, KWBYradio.com, iHeartRadio, iTunes. I have the list back here. I should just read it. Google Play, Spotify, Kennedy-financial.com. We got a lot.
Everywhere.
So, yes, we're everywhere. Find us. Read that. Listen to this again. Or just pull up our article, which is on Kennedy-financial.com, and it gives you the questions. But I want you to make a list. And the best way to do this is just either grab 2 pieces of paper or 1 piece of paper and draw you a column down the middle of each side of that paper. So you've got 4 different columns. And the first column, answer, what are you really, 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 really great at? I mean, just like excellent, superior, super ability, almost superpower. Where do people call you a hero when you do something? You just feel elated that you got to do it, right? And it just comes by you naturally. Maybe it's something from birth that you've been able to do, and no one understands why. We were just talking about a person here in town that orchestrates all of our cantatas and has this music ability that's beyond belief. Right. And it is such just a natural talent, David Bailey, and hopefully that gets back to him because it is true, but that is his unique ability, obviously, right? Me, I sit there and study that music just to sing it and for hours and hours and hours, and I'm still stressed about it. So number 2, that kind of fits in this column. What are the things that you would be brilliant at doing, but you haven't spent the time to get to excellence? Okay, so my example, I'd like to think it's team roping. I don't think so. We all have something that you've maybe tipped your toe into, but you'd be good at doing that. Right. If you just took some time and you like doing it too. So write yourself a column of those. Spend some time going through that. And then on your back of your page or your second page, start with your third column. What are the things that you're good at but not great at? That is my singing ability. I classify myself as good. Not great. Takes a lot of work to get there, right? No solos if I can help it. So, David, I hope you are listening. But that's that good, but not great. Progress starts by telling the truth, by the way. This is very, very important. Nobody sees this but you. Right. Okay? So, tell yourself the truth. And then finally, what are you bad at? What do you procrastinate all the time to do? You put off to the very last minute. You don't want to do it. Even if you do it, you tend to mess it up, and it'd be better off if someone else just did it. Yeah. Again, progress starts by telling the truth. Write everything down, every minutia. Even if you think no one else can do it, I want you to write it down on that sheet of paper, because that is really important to have an eye-opening of where those are. Now, you got that list, right? You got those 4 things. There's a second component, not just writing out that list, but to finding your unique ability. Okay. You either love doing something, you have a passion for it. It's like this inner burning desire. It's kind of like me with what I do, and you get to hear it on the radio all the time. I've had comments on that, how passionate I am, right? Okay. You have this inner burning desire about it. You love it. Okay. You like it, but you don't love it. You don't mind it, right, but you don't love it. Or you really despise doing it. And you'll do it because that's the type of person you are, but you do not like doing it. If you ask me to fill out paperwork, I do not like doing it whatsoever. In fact, I walk around very cranky all day long. This is how this works. So, take that list of 4 columns and go through there and say love, like, despise. Love. There may be things that you are excellent at, you are a superhero at, but you despise doing. Think about that. There are several, and I know it. I have some, because everybody says, oh, you're so good at that. You need to keep doing it. Yeah, I don't like doing it. So, that's important. So we're going to take a break right here. Give you a minute to go to that piece of paper if you have a chance. If not, just kind of hang on to these thoughts, and then we're going to move on and go a little bit further into what that unique ability means and how to start using it.
Final segment of Life Planning 101 in the new year coming up next. Welcome back in Life Planning 101, final segment. Angela, let's get to it.
So, unique ability. What are you, Ezekiel Elliott, at doing, right? So, I thought about that last when they played Oakland, right before they got him back, and I thought he could have hurdled that pile and got that touchdown.
That's right.
No one else could have done that, but he could have done that, right? But what can you delegate? What can you get rid of? And it should be anything that isn't your unique ability. Anything that isn't what you are excellent at doing and you love doing, passionate at doing.
A married couple, maybe your spouse has a unique ability that you don't know about.
That's right.
That you could
transfer. And it gets rid of so much marital strife because she's always nagging you. Think about it. Why don't you get that done? I'll get that done so fast.
And maybe she actually thinks, I could do that better than him, but I don't want to hurt his feelings.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
up and
right.
Tell yourself the truth.
It is. It's open and talk about it with your family. That's a really important part of this. So, and everybody always says, I think, and here's the thing I want you to stop. Let's back up. Okay. I want you to envision for a moment that you get to use your unique ability all day, every day. Just envision what life would be like for you.
Be wonderful.
Yeah, I bet people just took a deep breath. It's a lot less stress, right? So that's great. Obviously, there's things that you can't delegate, like your health or this and that, right? But for the most part, you get to do in your unique ability every single day. You don't like washing dishes, you don't wash dishes. Yeah. How's that work? So,
I tell people all the time, I don't have a job.
Yes, that's great,
I love
Terry.
what I do.
That's great. And that's the way it should be, But the sad truth is that most people will say this, well, that sounds great and all, and they make tons of excuses, and they don't even attempt to rethink their routines or what they do. And I want to encourage you, this is the new year. This should be your resolution, okay? Not a health resolution, not anything else, but don't let but stop you from anything you want to do. Make that your resolution, right? So the reality is, it is possible. Dan Sullivan, we were talking about strategic coach. One of his quotes is, our eyes only see and our ears only hear what our brain is looking for. If you put it in your brain to make it possible to live in your unique ability, what are you going to start seeing? What are you going to start hearing? What's going to start happening?
You're going to keep telling yourself to keep doing it.
Yes, it's going to tell you how to do it. It's going to find the solutions to be able to get rid of everything else that's on your plate so that you can make it life-changing, because it has changed our life at Kennedy Financial Services. I will tell you that right now. My brother will be the first to tell you. He gets to sit in a hole all day and do what he loves to do. He doesn't have to do anything else. My dad says, I'm on a need-to-know basis. I only show up when I need to know something, right? And he loves doing it. And he gets to play with his grandkids and spend the time that he wants to spend. And it is so important. Think outside the box. And I know I wish my dad was here, and he may have mentioned this on the show a couple weeks ago. It was monumental for him. It took him to step back and hire people, and that was an investment. But when he did it, guess what happened? He exploded, because his unique ability happens to be going and finding people to work with and doing a great job so that they go talk to other people. So if he get to keep doing that, guess what? The money was there to pay for their other people, that their unique ability happens to be building that relationship and making sure we follow up and do a great job with that client, right? That's not who he is. But it is who Jennifer is in our office. It is who Matt is in our office. It's just wonderful. So, everybody has their own unique ability, and building your team around that, or your family or your home. I finally came to the point, I said, Brett, I don't care what it takes. We are hiring somebody to come clean our house, because this is draining me every single week. And I love Marina. I wish she's listening to the show. I cannot tell you how much, Marina Patino, you are my lifesaver. And she really, really is. But it is so true. If you can focus on the things that you love to do the most, because you can't delegate your family and friends, obviously. You can't delegate your relationship with God. You can't delegate your time to be able to be healthy, right? But there's a great book out there about don't sweat the small stuff, because it's all small stuff. And that's so true. We get wrapped up in, I got to do it because I got to do it right. Yeah. Okay, no one else is going to do it right. Well, let them fail. It's like, last week, didn't we talk about letting people fail to have wisdom, to gain wisdom?
Not just your kids, your employees.
That's right. Sometimes you got to stop, and you got to move backwards to move forwards. I was reminded of that in my golf lessons. I'm reminded that every time I play golf, is that, you feel really good when you start playing. You accelerate really quick, but then you hit the slough, and then it stays like that for a while and becomes very, very frustrating. But if you stick with it, what happens?
You finally get over the top.
You get over the top. Now you go through it again, and you go through it again. That's growth, right? You're either growing or dying.
Peaks and valleys.
It's peaks and valleys. But the truth is you've got to stop. You've got to look at reassess your life, because how can you add another New Year's resolution if you don't get rid of something? You've got to get rid of something. We're all too busy. We are all too busy. And, the thing is that our unique ability, and I think this is wonderful, we get to tell people all the time, we get to help people live life on purpose. This is what we're talking about.
Right.
Living life on purpose. Are you living life on purpose?
You hope so.
Or by default?
Or by default.
Oh, by default, right? So tweet us at KFS Life Planning. Do you know what your unique abilities are? We want to know, yes or no. And don't forget to utilize us. Walt Disney said the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So quit talking about it, write it down, have the discussion, then do it.
What's the old adage?
No excuses.
He can sure talk a good game.
Yeah, that's right.
Talk a good golf game, but on the golf course, it's another story.
Yes, that is very true. So you get after it. Make a life change. Make 2018 something that you look back on and say, that was the best decision I ever made, to just stop with the small stuff and focus on what I was made to do, what God made me to do.
Excellent stuff, Angela.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Carpe diem, right?
That's right.
Seize the day, seize the year. And don't miss our show next week. We're going to be talking about the tax code. I know everybody's excited about that, only because you're getting a raise. But, and I have to put a disclosure, probably getting a raise. Okay, so we will talk more about that next week. Don't miss here on Life Planning 101. My name is Angela Robinson here with Kennedy Financial Services. God bless everyone. Happy New Year. And we hope everyone is able to look at their unique abilities and begin focusing on them. Live life on purpose.
Thank you for joining us for Life Planning 101, brought to you by Kennedy Financial Services of Eastland. Tune in every Monday morning at 8:30 on KATX, and again on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock on KATX and KWBY for more Life Planning 101.
Advisory services offered through Smart Money Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Calton & Associates Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Kennedy Financial Services Incorporated is an independent of Calton & Associates Incorporated and Smart Money Group, LLC.